hard to walk all the way along the wall that week because it had not stopped raining. Everywhere was slick with water. The puddles had grown so big that you had to jump and leap across them, and still they grew larger each day. Some of them formed little lakes that were so deep you had to walk all the way around the edge of them. They looked like they might swallow you up if you stepped into them. You couldn't see their bottoms. I liked the deep, brown-coloured puddles. I liked how you could walk right into them so that your feet would completely disappear. The first day the rain started falling, we spent most of our playtime doing just that, wadding into murky puddles that filled any dip and crevice that the water could find in the playground. I remember it was really thundering down all morning, but it had turned into more of a drizzle by lunchtime. When we were eating lunch that day, Gaia noticed the teachers all looking out of the windows and having hurried, harassed conversations with each other. "They're talking about wet play," she said, and I looked up from my soggy pile of broccoli I had been wondering if I could get away with not eating. I had piled it up on one side of the plate, so it looked as small as possible. "Mr. Benson is saying we need to have a run around," she continued. And I looked up over to the group of teachers who were looking agitatedly around them with their hands on their hips. "And Miss Faraway is saying only some children have got coats today. That not everyone's got a coat with them today." Gaia scrunched up her eyes a bit so she could see what they were saying. She wasn't listening to them as such, you see. Gaia was able to understand what most people were saying by looking at how their lips moved. I think it all started because she couldn't hear very well when she was younger, and now, even though she has something inside her ear to help her hear, she still does it all the time. The person has to be looking her way, of course, so she can see their lips moving. Sometimes it's not always completely right, but she can usually get the gist of what they're saying. "Okay, we are going outside. Mr. Benton's getting really cross and saying that it's more important that we have fresh air than if we are wearing coats. Yep, it's outside play." Just a few minutes after that, they blew the whistle and told everyone it was outside play and to wear a coat if you had one. Gaia smiled at me, just a small one. She wasn't showing off or anything, but we both liked how her lip reading meant we often knew what was going on before everyone else. We found out about all sorts of things that way. We discovered that Mr. Weaver and Miss Brown were living together after Gaia saw them bickering over what takeaway to order for tea. Miss Brown wanted Chinese and Mr. Weaver fish and chips. We even found out what Mr. Benton's first name was. When Mr. Chelmsford, the head teacher, was chatting to him in the corridor, it was something we would never have guessed in 100 years. Gordon. The playground was grey and cold, but full of shrieks and cries of everyone playing in puddles. I looked around for Gaia. She had come out before me while I was made to force the last of the broccoli into my mouth. In the end, it hadn't tasted of anything much at all. Just wetness. Green wetness. Gaia was by one of the larger puddles, and I ran over to join her. She was standing at the very edge of it, so I thought if she wasn't careful, she might fall right in. She wasn't wearing wellies or anything, and I saw her dip the black rounded toe of her shoe into the water, and then bring it back out again. Then she did the same with the other foot. Just as she did that, at the very moment she dipped her other foot in, a group of kids barged right past her. She had to take a few steps forward just to keep her balance, right into the middle of the puddle. I'd caught up with her by this point. "Did you get wet, Gaia?" I asked. We both looked down at her shiny soaked black shoes. Then we looked at each other. Her face broke into a smile first, and before we knew it, we were both laughing so hard that it didn't matter about anyone else in the whole world. You know how sometimes when you're laughing it feels like that? We were laughing and laughing. People splashed us with puddle water and pushed into us, but we didn't care. "Miss Faraway is saying this is madness. Why they let them come outside, I don't know. They're all soaked." Gaia and I had taken shelter underneath the old shed. Everyone was wet now. I don't mean just a little bit wet. I mean sodden, wet right through. Gaia was watching the adults on duty carefully.